Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. It's Bibi Cameron here, and today I'm going to be sharing a couple of ideas using the Tonic Craft Kit number 14. As always, I'm going to show you very quick the products in the kit so you can have a better idea of what you get. You're going to get a Nuvo signature calligraphy pen, white embossing powder, this is Cooper Nuvo embellishment mousse, black Nuvo drops, Metro Grey Nuvo Hybrid ink, Craft Perfect dimensional foam pads, and papers in different colors and textures. And in this kit, Tonic also included an A4 sheet of AZTEC. This AZTEC is really sturdy and thick and is great for checkered cards. As always, you will get a die set. I think you are going to love it because it's super sweet and versatile. This window here measures 3 inches and a quarter by 2 inches. And although I will say that this die is the main die in the set because it also coordinates with these dies here, there is another dies here like this cat, the rabbit, the little dog, the bird, the flower, flower pots, bunting, and all these little accessories that you can use to create cards without that window. And a new thing with this kit is this guide here. So you can identify the dies and how you can use them. And Tonic is also giving you ideas about the colors you can use to create a card. So you can just simply copy the whole scene here and you will be done. And here at the back, you will find images of the die cuts and how they look, so you can identify them as well and you can layer them together easier. But honestly, it's 1 or 2 layers of die cuts and it's really easy to put together. This kit also includes an 11 pieces stamp set. And I have to say that this is one of my favorite stamp sets in the Tonic Craft Kits. It's very clever. It has 6 sentiments and 5 images you can use to stamp the background of your paper craft projects. It doesn't have to be a card, could be a tag or a box. Okay, so I got an A4 sheet of cardstock and I divided in 4. It has the A4 sheet of cardstock in America and here is slightly different in size. I just cut this one at the American size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. And this one here is a little bit larger or wider, depending how you see it. And I just cut a piece of British paper in 4. And one of those quarters is the front panel of my card. So I hope you can see there the difference between the British standard A6 card base and the American. So it's a very small difference, but it could be a problem if you buy envelopes and your cards doesn't fit inside them. This purple pearlescent envelope is from the Simon Says Stamp Shop, which is an American shop, and this aquamarine envelope is from Hobbycraft, which is a British craft shop. So you can see there the difference. These envelopes has been designed to fit a quarter of an A4 sheet of cardstock inside and has in different countries the standard A4 sheet of paper is different so that the envelopes, but actually I won't be worried about it because the sizes are very similar and you can fit any card design to your favorite card size. Okay, so I have this idea to die cut 2 windows in a front panel. So I start by cutting all the pieces from white cardstock. This is the cardstock in the craft kit. And with the die cuts, I start building an seam. I also noticed that when I was cutting the paper, the cat and the rabbit just make this beautiful silhouette on the paper, and you can use that also to make checkered cards or another card design. I'm also going to use every single white scrap piece of paper to die cut a bunch of flowers and many other shapes in the die set. So I die cut also more windows because I want to add dimension, and well, I have all the pieces here to start putting the card together. The little dog is just sweet and this is the cat here. This is also an idea for you to start building a scene. You can start with white die cuts and then add colors, textures, and embellishments. And you can also add dimension, and that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to glue 3 of these die cuts together like so, and at the top I'm going to glue the one I die cut from the white texture Craft Perfect cardstock included in the kit. I hope you can see there the texture of this cardstock and my very dirty hands. My hands got really messy with this project, but I enjoy it. So I'm going to use this stamp here from the stamp set, and I was thinking in adding just some of these images here and there, but then I noticed that they will make a pattern, and I started stamping and I could not stop. So I was thinking to place this brick wall at the back of my front panel, which is this one here, but then I changed my mind completely and I decided to make that stamped panel the front of my card. So I wanted to see if this will work just like that, but then I decided to die cut the panel to be able to place that die cut windows in the negative space. I also die cut these pieces here, but I decided to add color with the ink pad in the kit, so they look a little bit more bold and they also will pop up a little bit more from that background. And at this moment, I'm not gluing anything. I'm just trying to see how the things look together. And I also die cut these pieces here, which are the curtains. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to use them, but once I tried them just behind the window frame, I really like that. So at this point, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I also used this yellow Nuvo hybrid ink and a Nuvo sponge to add some light behind the windows, and I just sponged the ink like so. And once I have that in there, I glue this panel on top, and I also glue the curtains. Then I put together the little dog, which is super easy. I glue down the head, then the mustache, and the ears. When he was ready, I put him behind the window just to see how it looks, and I found that the best, it was just cutting the legs and putting his head through the window like so, and that worked better. So from here, I'm going to glue all the pieces together. I'm going also to add some color using Nuvo alcohol markers, Nuvo glitter pens, Nuvo Aqua Flow, or any ink I have. You will see me using different products. I'm sure you will identify them, and I'm going to add the links in the video description so you will be able to see the supplies lists I use for this card. I feel that if I keep talking, I'm going to spend 2 hours explaining. I spent a lot of time making this card because I changed my mind. I wanted to do the cat and the dog in white, and then I decided to color them. And when I start adding colors with the Nuvo alcohol markers, I wanted to go even darker and darker. Another thing just I'm going to mention here is, if you see, I apply a yellow ink behind the window and the cat is going to be in front of that window. So I'm going to add a yellow ink just at the back of the cat to make it look like if the light behind him is reflecting on the cat. So it's a very silly thing to do, very simple and very effective. It helps to the whole composition, and your coloring looks like it has more sense. Sometimes you don't know what it is there, but it's there and it's helping you to make your projects a little bit nicer and add those little details that make all the difference. Don't be scared to layer a yellow color on top of a gray color. If you see there, I did that, and they are not going to blend completely, but you are going to get the best of those two colors. So I'm again inviting you to experiment with your colors. This is really easy, and I found it relaxing. So if you get the kit and you have alcohol markers, you can try this texture cardstock to add color on die cuts. I won't recommend it for stamping because the card has a lot of texture. But if you see there, I have been applying a ton of ink on that paper, and the paper is holding the ink beautifully. It's also allowing me to do some blending, and sometimes that's not kind of easy on this kind of cardstock. I also would like to invite you to use your blending pen or colorless pen more often to soften the colors or hard lines between colored shades. And with this colorless pen, you can also go over a white area or a white area in your image, like the belly of the cat, and all the color around that area is going to blend as well. It's not going to look like a hard line at the edge of that white area. I glue those window boxes with a dimensional in each corner so that I have a gap behind and I can slide those die cuts just behind, and I also can glue them, and you won't be able to see any adhesive, and everything is going to look nice and neat. And now I'm going to add colors to these little flowers using Nuvo Aqua Flow pens. I'm also using wire on my cards. Is this wire here? This is used to make jewelry, and I use it also on cards to create stems for the flowers. It's not the first time I do it, and I really think that it looks very nice. I hope you can see the wire there on the flower basket. And it's a very, very small detail, but I really think that it adds value. So I'm going to use it here, and I'm going to glue it with glue dots. However, if you want to be sure that that wire is not going to move anywhere, you can also use hot glue, and you can add adhesive behind the paper, and it will stay there between those layers of paper. I also like to give shape to little flowers like these ones. I use glue to adhere them to the panel. Now I'm going to play some music to show you how I finished this card, and we are going to move to another project super quick. The last thing I'm going to do is to apply Nuvo drops on the eyes of the critters, and I'm also going to use a shimmer pen to add shimmer to the flowers. I'm going to add some extra embellishments because I feel my cat needs something else, and as in the die set there is a necklace for the cat or the dog, I'm going to add that one as well. And to finish, I'm going to add a Nuvo glitter drop in the center of the flowers. I'm also going to add a little bit of a sparkle using Nuvo glitter pens at the edges of the flowers, and little touches that make this card to have a little bit more of contrast and interest. You will see me working on a piece of cardstock, and I'm doing this because I don't want to get the back of my card base stained with any ink on the glass mat. And I remove that, and then I can finish the card just applying the Nuvo glitter drops just in the center of the flowers. And if I make a mistake, I just can easily remove any excess of that Nuvo drop with a piece of paper. And when I was making this card, I lost the track of the time. I recorded 3 hours of video, and I was, oh my goodness, how I'm going to edit all this? So I managed to do it as short as I could. So to finish, I add the ink of a glitter marker on a piece of a smooth cardstock, and I use the Nuvo embossing powder in the kit and Nuvo clear mark ink. So I hit emboss the sentiment, and I create a little banner for the card, and that's how I finish this card. And this is just one idea, but the sky is the limit. You can use only the dog, only the cat, only the flowers to make a wide variety of cards for many different occasions. So now let's move to the next sample. As I die cut paper in different colors, I got this cardstock here with the die cuts, and I decided I'm going to put a card together. And I decided that it's going to be a Halloween card. So I'm going to play some music, and I'm going to share the card making process. Oh my goodness, that music was a little bit too scary for my taste, but my card is cute for a Halloween card. But it's not supposed to be cute, it should be scary and creepy. Just like my happy hands today after crafting and doing all the experiments with this Tonic Craft Kit number 14. Anyway, that's all for today. I hope you like this video and you like the ideas, so you can see how you can make completely different things using the dies and the products in the Tonic Studios Craft Kit number 14. Thank you very much for watching and happy crafting. Bye!